Express your creativity and delight in the mystery of your inner muse. This is that show where we take you on a journey through the different worlds of creative expressions across all walks of life. Welcome to the Muse. My name is Peace Adeniro. On the show today, we have an author already, and we're going to be having a conversation, playing the games, and every other thing we do on the show. If you've not followed us yet, you can do that right now. Follow us across all our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn at ImpactTV and ImpactTV UK. So let's go on this quick break where we take a look at the guest profile. We'll be back for the conversation.
Rita Egbo is a wife, mother, and a professional chef who also has a passion for creative writing. She hails from Delta State in Nigeria, and Desperate Desires is her first published novel. Desperate Desires is an intricate tale of true love, violence, deceit, and death. Susan, a 38-year-old woman, is in desperate search for her husband. Her life as a spinster is tormented by different men who pierce through a cocoon only to leave her anguished. She undergoes various travails of womanhood which catapult her into a world of turbulent desolation. Will she survive the burdens of womanhood unscathed? Today on The Muse, Rita Egbo is our guest.
I have the pleasure of welcoming Rita Egbo into the studio today. She's the author of Desperate Desires. Hello, Rita.
Hi, Peace.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
So wait, you're a wife, you're a mother, you're a professional chef,
Yes.
and you're a writer. And you managed to pull off all of this excellently. How do you do it?
Well, I must say it's not an easy task.
Definitely it's not.
Being a mom alone is a full-time job.
Yes, I agree.
And I have 3 kids. So,
All boys, maybe?
no, 2 girls and a boy.
Okay, okay.
But it looks like 10 kids because they're all very active kids. And then juggling my career, being a wife, a mother, and writing, I won't lie, it's been very hectic. It's a tedious job. But then I try to balance my life, balance all aspects of my life, because I still have a husband to take care of and the kids, and I still have to take care of myself.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then create time to write, and then cook as a chef, like standing all day. It's not been an easy job, but then I've pulled it off, and I'm still pulling it off.
Well, that's excellent. So how did you get into writing? Have you known yourself to be a writer, right from childhood, or you developed the interest along the line, or what?
I've always loved writing.
Okay.
I first of all started loving reading.
Okay.
Yeah. From childhood, I've had this little library where I keep storybooks. I've always been a very careful child, so I just keep my books neatly. My storybooks, I don't play with them. I read and put myself to sleep. And then as I grew older, I started having diaries where I just write things that happened to me, my boarding school experience, everything written in a diary. And then when I became an adult and had a laptop, I started writing real stories.
Okay.
So you see, I have just different drafts with different stories, all incomplete. But then, at a point, I started paying more attention to this particular story because I loved the storyline, and because I'm a contemporary writer, experiences I had with people, strangers, I put it into the story. So along the line, it was meant to be a love story,
Okay.
a happy ending and everything, but along the line, I lost a friend who died in the process of childbirth. So that was what motivated the end, the sad part of the
ending.
story, yes. Okay, a lot of people have called me and asked, Rita, I love the story, but why did you do this at the end? Like, you just killed me. Why? You're so wicked. And I'm like, no, that's not wickedness. It's actually something we see happening every day.
Oh, yeah.
People just go into the labor room, and some of them never come back.
Yeah.
It looks like a story, but then when it happens to you or someone very close to you, or a family member, your friend, you begin to know that it's a tragedy that you wouldn't even wish your enemy to pass through.
Yes.
So that's it. I still have some other stories in my laptop that I'm working on with time.
Yeah, we'll talk about those too. So did this story start out as a pure work of fiction, or something around you inspired it? I know along the line your friend died and you had to incorporate that, but at the beginning, did it start out as a pure work of fiction, or you got inspired by that same friend or maybe someone else?
Okay. It wasn't inspired by fiction. Everything that happened in this book was actually inspired by real life happenings.
Around you? Around
me, yes.
Okay.
Friends, family, strangers, church members. So it started off with a particular friend whom just never got around to finding the right man in her life. You know, it sounded like a joke, but then at a point when she got in her late 30s, she was frustrated, to say the least. So when I started writing this story, I had that in mind. For every character in this book, there's someone in my head.
Okay.
Someone I know one-on-one.
And are they okay with you just...
They don't even know that they want.
Oh, okay, okay.
I just never told them you're in my head. Every character here, there's someone in my head, but they don't know, I never told them. So that's why it looks like fiction, but I know the people who are in the story.
And what if they read it and they say, this looks like me, or
well,
have you had any encounter like that?
Not yet, but one person asked, I'll tell you later, I'll tell you along the line. Okay, so when I started writing Susan's story, I had this friend in mind, and then that was a part of her own life I included in Susan's life. If you've read the book, you see that Susan's life was complicated.
Yes.
Yeah, and the complications wasn't just in one person's life. It was different happenings in different people's lives.
Yes.
I added up to Susan. That's why her life was so tragic and complicated, because it was just different people's lives I added in Susan's story.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Desperate Desires is the story of a certain lady called Susan, and this lady's in her late 30s, and she's not really desperate, but of course she's being pressured by society and by her parents to get married, because according to them time is going and her biological clock is
ticking.
Yeah, ticking. And at the end of the day, the story ended the way it had to end. Now there is this particular character I said I was going to call you out on this. I sort of was curious as to what happened to it at the end of the day. Josh, that's Susan's one of Susan's ex-boyfriends. Yeah. You mentioned him at the beginning, and then you put us in suspense. You mentioned him like 3 to 4 times, like, where is this guy? What did he do? You know, so why did you have to put us in that mode? We are really angry on behalf of all the readers. Why did you have to put us in that much suspense?
Well, one of the things that makes you pick up a book and then keep turning the pages over and over again and read to the end is suspense.
Okay.
So I just had to create that suspense. So when you read chapter 1, you read chapter 2, you get to Josh. What happened to Josh? And then you turn. You keep turning because you're curious. You want to know what happened to Josh. So that's what happened. And then again, you know, we as a people, we've not come to accept homosexuality as part of us. It's a concept we've not accepted yet as a people. And I had to introduce it somehow, because a lot of people couldn't even guess, like, why did Susan leave him? He was so perfect. He was handsome, he was doing well, he loved her, he was romantic. What could have gone wrong? Nobody ever guessed this guy was gay, or he had some hidden skeleton in his cupboard, you know. So I just had to push it to the end. So it makes you want to read to the end. And
then she had to discover she could not just settle with that kind of man that wasn't truthful with her from the beginning. Now, the story ended on a somewhat sad note, and because we as readers, we have this expectation of a story like that started on a quite romantic note, having a happy ending and all of that. But then the story was somewhat tragic at the end, and it gave this really sad feel to it. But then reality has to dawn on us that at the end of the day, it doesn't always have to have a happy end. There are some people whose stories do not end the way we expect it to end, though. So what lessons do you want the readers to learn generally from Desperate Desires?
Well, one major lesson I would love readers to learn is they should learn how to just leave women to live their lives. Let women be, because a lot of women are passing through stuff, through a lot of emotional trauma, through challenges that they know nothing about. We all wear wigs and we make up and we look good when we're out. But then you have no idea what a woman passes through in her daily lives, especially in adulthood. Let me even start from teenagehood. Go through menstruation, belly cramps, and then you're looking for your husband in your adulthood. It's quite challenging for people who have experienced it. For people who just got married, they really don't have an idea. But for someone who has passed through a lot of relationships before finally meeting the right person, they can tell it's not a journey anyone will wish to pass through. And then again, you see women who are looking for the fruit of the womb, who are trying to conceive. Because Nigerians are really good at that. You get married and in 3-4 months, you're having a conversation with them and they're staring right at your stomach. And the next thing they're asking you, when we go chop, when we go carry baby now, even like say you never gave a leg, or you don't enter, all those kind of questions. And it might seem funny, but it's not, because the person who is trying to conceive becomes very touchy, very emotional. And then when a year passes by, 2 years, 3 years, and you're talking to her, you're staring at her tummy, you're asking, you say you're not feeling fine, Abi, don't enter. She goes back home and she cries. But people don't know this. So I would love people to just leave women to live their lives. If someone is married and they haven't started having kids due to one reason or the other, it's really none of our business. Let the person pass through her challenge the best way she can. Let her deal with her problems the way she can. It's enough challenge struggling to conceive, and then not add comments and family pressures and going from one place to the other, people asking you questions. It's a very touchy problem. So people should just like learn how to mind their business. Except the person opens up to you and says, oh, okay, this is what I'm facing, this is what I'm passing through, can you help me out in one way or the other? Then you can, you know, make a comment or advise the person. But if the person doesn't, please, Nigerians, everyone in the world, just let women be.
People should really mind their business. Because this is 2021 and some people do not get married to conceive, really. Some people get married for companionship, and then you just asking them when we go come chop rice, like you said, or when we go come carry baby. It can get really annoying. Not everybody. Of course, in Africa, we believe that the sole aim of getting married, so to speak, is procreation. But we should be able to open our minds to other people's concepts of marriage too. Some people do not get married. They only get married just so they can have another person in the house to talk to. And some people just get married and live as roommates. To each his own. Let's learn to mind our businesses and drink water. And it's also annoying the fact that, okay, it also happened in the book. People had to introduce the spiritual aspect. And then Susan had to go to a prophet, and the prophet told her she had a spiritual husband, and she has to bath in a river and do this and do that. And it's also that brings to forward the fact that many people tend to spiritualize stuff like that. And I also wanted to ask, would you say that Susan had to die because she refused to heed to that spiritual warning, or because she had a medical condition like that?
Well, personally, I would say it's because she had a medical condition. Because
she got the warning from 2 prophets.
Yes, she actually did get warnings from different pastors, and a prophet and then a pastor later on. But then, personally, I believe it was her medical condition. Because Nigerians, we are very spiritual, in quotes. Now, if I tell you I have a headache today, and I complain of that same headache next tomorrow, I complain the following month, they'll say, have you gone to pray? Have you prayed about it? Maybe there's something. We all believe there's something. There's always something, you know? So Nigerians don't even like to go to the hospital. They don't even like to have surgeries. You tell somebody, I've seen someone who has fibroid and her tummy is really big. Aren't you going to have this thing removed so you can have your life back? And she said, God forbid. Are you saying God forbid that you can't have it, or God forbid it's going to disappear by itself? Do you understand? So people just seem to spiritualize everything, even something that medicine can take care of. No, they would rather pray and fast. And it was just unfortunate she bled to death. But then it's something that happens during delivery. Every woman bleeds. But then it's left to the doctor to be able to control it. And then don't forget, she had this baby at well, let me
Close
say
to
old.
40.
Yeah, over 40.
Over 40.
And then medically, they will say don't conceive from 40 because your body might not be able to handle it.
Yeah.
That's why women are advised to have kids when they're younger.
Yeah.
So I would say it was just a physical problem that just came up during delivery, and so unfortunately her body couldn't handle it, and then she bled to that. But then people always think everything is spiritual. They would have said, hey, we told her it was, the prophet mentioned it, but she didn't listen, she was stubborn. But Susan, at the end of this, she's my kind of person. I don't believe in spiritual problems.
Oh, really?
No, I don't know.
All right, so what part of the book resonates with you the most? Since the whole situation happened to people around you.
Well, it's a little secret I have. Okay, well, it's not really a secret. So when I was in secondary school in SS3, I had this platonic relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, with my friend's brother.
Susan and Samuel.
Yeah, Susan and
get
Samuel. Susan and Samuel, the platonic relationship they had earlier on, yeah, that was me there.
Wow.
Yeah, that was me there. So I knew exactly how she felt, how both of them felt, and how they used to make future plans. You know how you will sit and they dream of how you get married in the next 20 years, have 6 children running around, and then it just never happens. Because then you move on with life and you both go your separate ways. Yeah, maybe different schools, or you just lose contact or something. Yeah, so that was me there. So Samuel was someone that was special to me when I was far younger, way back in my teenage years.
His name is Samuel too?
No, he wasn't Samuel, but I named him Samuel in the book. So he was someone I knew personally. Some people told me do platonic relationships exist, and I said, well, it does, because I passed through all. Yeah, so it's something that happens for girls who don't want to get pregnant and get killed by their parents. You don't have a choice than to have a platonic relationship. And then if you are well taught in school, you should know that 5 minutes enjoyment can ruin your career. That's what they always told us then. So that was just me, a little bit of me in Susan's life.
That's a very interesting story. So you and Samuel, Alpha.
Well, far.
Okay.
The thing is, we lost contact. After then, I went to a different school. He went to a different school. And then along the line, I got married later. But then, I found him later on. No, I found him even before we got married. But then I was engaged with someone else, and I loved who I was with, so that was fine. Then we got married. I got married to my husband. But we're still in touch. He keeps up. He even read the book, and he was like, ooh, this Samuel and Susan in secondary school looks very suspicious. And I said, yes, you got it right. That was me and you way back then. And we're friends. We're good friends. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
I must commend your effort on this book. It's excellently written, and the story is a really catchy one.
Thank you.
So if you ever want to read a book that is really interesting, Desperate Desires, I really recommend it. Thank you so much for having this conversation with me. But we're not done yet. We're still going to be reading excerpts from the book.
Okay.
All right, so let's go out on this short break. We'll be back after. So we're going to be reading excerpts from the book Desperate Desires by Rita Egbo, and this time around she will be starting. Are you ready?
Yes,
yeah,
I
let's
am.
go.
Okay. So a distant aunt said to her, Susan, stop being selective, please. Just marry before you hit menopause. Doing the younger does not help anybody. Oh. There are plenty girls looking for husband.
Susan was the second child and the Ada, first daughter in a family of 5. Her older brother, Amechi, was married and lived in the UK with his 2 children, the naughty curly-haired Sean and Chantel, and his soft-spoken wife who spent her time separating her fighting kids and maintaining her immaculate skin. Susan's immediate younger brother, Chokes, was married and already had a child with his wife in Abuja. The third brother was studying for his master's in America. Their last born, Ifoma, who was in her final year in the university, had a crafty way of extracting money from everyone with the same old story about writing her final year project. The outrageous amount expended on the said project could acquire an entire bungalow in a choice area of Lagos. But talk about Ifoma's unending project did not come up in the family WhatsApp group. All they talked about was Susan's marriage, or lack of it.
She sat up on the sofa and placed her mug on a side stool. She sighed sadly and lowered her forehead into her palms with her elbows resting on her knees. Nikki, Christabel, Stella, even Kessiana, who we all mocked for being too pious with no dress sense, are married. They've all been married for years now, and here I am, still single and searching. What sort of fate was I born with? She hissed, feeling somewhat miffed. She hid her hair gently to ease her itching scalp beneath her human hair wave.
It wasn't that Susan had not met men. Romance with them often started beautifully, but always crashed like a plane that ran out of fuel mid-flight. The reasons for the splits were multiple, but never failed to cause heartbreak. Having gone through several failed relationships, Susan felt emotionally drained. One more relationship and I'm done, she muttered. One more, and that's it.
Her mind was made up. She would travel home to the village for Christmas as her mother wanted, even though she did not like making the trip during the festive season because of the unnerving multiplicity of road accidents. But she would go this time. Maybe, just maybe, she will find her soulmate in the village. After all, most of her friends abroad always return home in search of a husband. Either marriageable men were scarce abroad, or there was something about homegrown men she was missing. Susan looked through the window into the brightening day and smiled sardonically at the thoughts.
Well, this is just a teaser. If you want a complete story, you know where to get the book. Thank you so much for reading this with me.
Thank you.
All right, let's go on this break. We'll be back to play games. Don't go anywhere. And I'm so excited because Rita has been giving me the vibes I need to play this game already. Welcome to the game segment, our game segment on the Muse. Well, are you ready for my game?
Yes, I am.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a vibe queen, so.
I'm ready, super ready.
All right, so this is the game. It's a word construction game. So you're going to start this time around. So you say a word, pick a word from your list, say the word. I'll pick the last letter of your word.
Okay.
That will start my word. I'll say it, you pick the last letter, and then we go on and on until someone loses out. So when someone loses out, that's the end of the first level. Second level, we'll move to the last two letters of the word instead of just one letter. Third level, last three letters.
Okay.
Do you copy?
Let's do this.
Shall we?
Yes, we shall. Fighter.
Retinue. Okay, so it's legit. I want to do season one. I want level one. It's legit. It's official now. So let's move to level two.
I'll give it to you because you're the presenter. I'll just give it to you.
No, not really.
It's
I
not for
won.
my
I
mind, but I give it to you.
won.
Okay, no problem.
All right,
it's fine.
The second level will be the last two letters.
Yes.
So you gave me your word now. I'll be giving you my word.
Let me look for a hard word.
No, I'll be the one starting. I'm giving you a word. So
Okay.
don't bother looking for a hard word.
Okay.
So my word for you is power.
Revenue.
Last two words. I won again. It was supposed to be the last two letters.
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot that was what you said. What's that again?
not my business.
I thought we were still in level one. I forgot. No, I forgot. Forgetting is acceptable now. I forgot. So he told me say something else. I was starting over again.
All right, in the court of law, forgetting is such a criminal offense that you can be sentenced to 14 years in prison. You know. All right, let's move to level 3. I won.
No.
I won.
No, peace, you didn't win.
Okay, do you want us to take it again?
Yes, I give you a word and then, yes, let's start it that way.
Okay, give me your word.
Okay, womanhood.
What do you say?
Sexuality.
No. No. Odyssey ends with EY.
Not sexy.
So is it clear now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I won again. 2 points to 0.
Wait,
Are you sure you want to do level 3?
Wait. I don't think that's how it goes. Okay, since the first segment is still very controversial, I think it should just be 1-1. I want level 1, you want level 2. Let's leave it at that.
Okay, so we hereby declare this election inconclusive.
Exactly.
Let's just go on this break. After we come back and sign the Muse board. I'm tired of you. Just go.
1-1.
The truth is, I can't wait to let Rita go. I can't wait, really. But before she goes, of course, she has to observe the Muse tradition. That is signing of the Muse board. So, Rita, you're going to stand up now, go to the board, and put your signature.
All right.
It's our way of saying thank you for coming and, of course, having something that belongs to you.
I'm just going to write it at the top.
All right.
So you guys can see me every morning you're walking here.
Okay. Even without you signing, we already have, you made today memorable. For me, for me.
Yes, so that's it.
Thank you so much. You can sit.
Thank you.
And as a token of our appreciation, we give you this.
Aww, thank you.
So you are our muse. You are my muse. You gave me lots of vibes on today's show. And this little parcel.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks.
It's our pleasure. All right, thank you so much for watching. You can follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn at ImpactTV and ImpactTV UK. This is where I draw the curtain for the show today. My name is Peace Adeniro. See you next week.